Good morning, everyone. Today I'll be introducing Sarah Mezzanotte.
Wait, I thought I was introducing Sarah Mezzanotte.
Why would Sarah ask you to introduce her?
I am her best friend. Like, hello.
Well, I'm so more important. I'm her little sister.
I first met Sarah Mezzanotte at the new student orientation when we were both freshmen. On the way to Dorney Park, I immediately fell in love with Sarah's contagious personality. Anyone who has ever had a conversation with Sarah would agree with me when I say that she is incredibly easy to get along with. She is the most personable person I know, and so when we first started talking, I quickly made it my goal to become best friends with her. Sadly for me, I came off a bit too eager and might have creeped Sarah out a little too much. As soon as we got to Dorney Park, Sarah ran away from me to be with her other newfound friends. However, I did not let this discourage me from my goal of being best friends with her. I am proud to say that after 4 years of struggling through Spanish class, an epic final season of Lost, and countless hours of video chatting, Sarah is officially my best friend. I love her to death, and I cannot imagine my high school career without her.
Thanks for that, Swanson. You're a real doll. Anyway, more importantly, Sarah and I are sisters. And she's probably the best sister ever. She drives me to school every single day and helps me with my math homework. Even though I look up to Sarah, I find it odd that she calls me upstairs to get the pencil case when it is 5 feet away from her bed. Nonetheless, even though Sarah is supposed to go to college next year, I'm not letting her.
How adorable. Even though we can't agree on who is supposed to introduce Sarah today, I think we can both agree on one thing.
Yeah, Sarah's speech is what matters most right now. We can finish this fight. 3 o'clock, playground.
Anyway, please stand to greet one of the most important people in our lives, Sarah Mezzanotte.
Thank you for that introduction. Good morning. I haven't done anything heroic that I can talk about. I haven't suffered any devastations or had any near-death experiences, but I have been a freshman and lived to be a senior. So I thought that I would use this time to offer my reflections of my high school experience. I came to Episcopal as a new student freshman year, and as so many of you know, it wasn't easy. The truth is, being the new kid is a challenge. Getting on a bus and heading 12 hours away into the middle of nowhere with a group of strangers was terrifying. Walking into school on the first day and watching kids hug each other and scream with joy was uncomfortable. To be honest, there were plenty of times when I wondered if I would ever fit in. But as is true with anything in life, it always gets easier. But the reality is, it takes time. So for all you new kids out there, have faith and have patience. Freshman year was full of learning experiences for me. I got my first lesson a week before school started. There was one afternoon when I had field hockey practice and then auditions for the fall play immediately afterwards. As a new student, not to mention one with no sense of direction, I had no idea how to find anything at the Marion campus. Field hockey practice ended and I was already running late for auditions. However, I could not for the life of me find the theater. It occurred to me a few days later that the theater and cafeteria were in fact connected, which was something I had not known at the time but would definitely have come in handy. So as I ran around the campus over and over again, I was panicked, frightened, and out of breath, and I realized that I wasn't going to find it on my own. So I went in search of someone to ask. The first group of people I came upon were a group of seniors sitting on a strangely shaped wooden structure. And so I came up to them and took a step onto the wooden form. When I asked them where the theater was, they gave me very detailed, helpful instructions. And so I set out for the auditions. However, about 5 minutes into the walk, I started to be concerned by the vast empty spaces and the unfamiliar area. So I finally came upon a building and stepped inside and asked if the theater was nearby. Turns out I was at Weatherall, the lower school, on the opposite end of the campus. I had learned my first lesson: never step onto the senior star. I should have known that this was foreshadowing what was to come. I continued to spend the next 4 years trying to find my way and sometimes taking a roundabout way to get there. I learned my second lesson early on. Episcopal is the kind of place with endless opportunities, but there are only so many hours in a day. I did not think this through when I embarked to do field hockey and the fall play the fall of my first year at EA. I soon learned that this was too much for me. I was trying to get good grades and find a group of friends and do well in field hockey and make it to play rehearsals. It did not take long before I realized that I was in way over my head. I didn't have EA figured out yet, and I felt as though I was fighting just to keep my head above water. Something had to give. I knew that I couldn't do all of these things. I am well aware that there are people out there, Jack Freeze, who manage to do everything and still sleep at night. But I learned a valuable lesson about myself. I am not Jack Freeze. I can't juggle nearly that many things at once. And I am the kind of person who wants to put all of my effort into everything I do. I would rather do fewer activities and do them well than do a mediocre job at more activities. So I had to choose between two of my favorite things. I had never really quit anything before, and I felt a terrible pit in my stomach when I had to quit the fall play. And as hard as that lesson was, it was a valuable one. I learned that you can do anything you want, but not everything you want. I had to make a lot of these decisions throughout high school. I have had to quit a few sports, and it is extremely hard every time. Each time my friends pressure me, trying to get me to change my mind. But in 9th grade, I learned that I can only do things that I will be able to be fully committed to. I don't believe it's fair to the team or myself if I cannot put everything I have into every practice. The truth is, it's important to realize what you want to focus on and to stick to it. After you find the activities you want to focus on, don't be afraid to take risks. Ever since I was a child, my father has always stressed the importance of being resilient. But more important than being resilient is believing you are resilient. You have to have faith that if you fall, you will get back up. This has stuck with me, and high school has further shown me the importance of taking risks and not being discouraged. So once you find out what you want to focus on in high school, take risks, and don't be afraid of failing. Believe that you can recover from a setback. One of the activities that I chose to focus on during high school was student council. And, as many of you know, I ran freshman, sophomore, and junior year, and I only won once. And you better believe I was devastated with each loss. My freshman year, I was crushed when I did not make it, but it didn't keep me from running again the next year. You have to take risks, because if you don't take risks, you'll never know what could have been. It's not winning that matters. It's the act of getting out there and giving it your best shot and continuing to believe in yourself no matter the outcome. Acting is something that is very important to me. I have realized throughout high school that this is one of the activities I really want to focus on. And after dedicating myself to theater, I have learned that it is what I really want to do in life. It isn't exactly easy to tell people I want to be an actress. I have gotten some very different responses, such as, "Oh, that's nice," and, "Well, is that all you're going to do?" And, "What if you don't make it?" This is a valid question. The acting world is an unknown territory to me, and I know that by starting down this path, I am taking a risk. But isn't that what life's all about? Taking risks? And as I venture to college and beyond, I am so glad that I practiced taking risks at EA. EA is the kind of place that you should take risks. High school is about discovery. We are all blessed to be at a place like Episcopal. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like that, particularly when we come home exhausted, have to face the hours of work ahead of us. But it's true. Being at EA is a blessing. In life, we have to make the most of these opportunities. Don't be afraid to take chances. It's important not to be afraid of failure. As has been said, never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. It took me 4 weeks to figure out the Episcopal campus, but it has taken me 4 years to really understand the social etiquette. One of my observations is that in high school, there are unspoken rules of popularity. In high school, caring is uncool. It's not cool to admit you like that book in English or that you love chemistry. It's not cool to stick up when you're in a situation you know is wrong. It's not cool to stick up for the person being picked on. But it's okay not to be cool. Being cool is not what matters. What matters is finding out what you're passionate about. Don't do what everyone else is doing. Don't be who you think other people want you to be. Don't feel the need to be like everyone else. Fitting some kind of mold isn't going to help you. Besides, the same thing is boring. It's our individuality and our quirks that make us unique. Use this time in high school to find out where you belong instead of trying to belong. Discover what you love to do and the kind of people you want to be around. Use these years to find your niche. Just like you can't do everything in high school, you can't be friends with or fit in with everyone. So instead of trying to make yourself what you think will make you popular, just be who you are. It's cliche, I know, but we only have one chance in high school. Why should it matter about being cool? So honestly, put your best effort into everything you do during high school, because I can say from experience, it flies by. The last thing you want is to look back on your high school experience and think about the things you could have done, how much effort you could have made, the person you could have been. Remember that everyone is trying to find their way through high school too. And somewhere along the way, someone may ask for your help. Don't lead them astray. Give them directions that help them in their journey. But most importantly, create a path for yourself and start to follow it. Don't be afraid to take risks and fail. Accept that you may fall, but be willing to get back up and try again. And you may change your path along the way, but that's okay. What's important is having a goal in mind, living with purpose and passion and being true to who you are. So dream big and follow your dreams, because the truth is they aren't going to follow you. Thank you.